My name is Roderick Williams, and I'm a baritone soloist and also a composer. I was invited by the Bach Choir to write a piece specifically to go before Elgar's Dream of Gerontius. So I wanted to find a subject that was in keeping, but also looked at the subject matter from a slightly different angle.
It begins with you pulling at wires, grasping at air, trying to get up. It begins with you still, breath barely there, my cheek to your mouth.
Cusp does explore a tricky subject, our own mortality, and I think it was quite important for me to create music that shone light into this subject. While it explores grief from all sorts of different angles, it's not all about pain and loss. There are so many different aspects of bereavement, and there's a lot of light amongst the shade. When I was looking for a text for this piece, I wanted to base it in the experience of some of the choir members itself. So I asked if anybody would be willing to talk to me, and several people came forward, sent me beautiful stories, personal stories that brought me to tears. I knew instinctively then that I couldn't fashion a text out of this. I needed a professional. I needed someone I could trust. So I've worked with the poet Romy Smith on several pieces before, and I knew she was the exact person for this job. What Romy did was create a text that falls into 4 movements. She decided to group them as seasons. So we start in autumn, and then we go into a fairly bleak winter in a hospital waiting room. But then spring comes, and we have a chance to shake off the snow and look forward to growth. And then we end in summer. And this seemed to be the most appropriate season for us to hand the piece over to Elgar's Dream of Gerontius. There's a great deal of extraordinary, passionate, expressive music in the Elgar. And I think part of my job as a composer for this piece is just to take a slight back seat and let the text do its work. I hope, if I get it right, that people will leave the performance thinking about their own approach to mortality, their own and the people that they love. And maybe this piece can start a few conversations that are probably better had while people are living. I've spent possibly 40, 45 years singing, from a boy treble up to a grown man. And it's impossible for me to have experienced that range of music across my career without it coming out in the music I write. A composer like me, a practitioner composer, can also write music that I would just enjoy performing myself. So that's how it works. I write music that I quite like to hear, and I also write music I quite like to sing. I would love audiences hearing Cusp for the first time to be able to take the text, hear it in the piece, but also take it away with them. And maybe that might prompt conversations either within their own heads or with their nearest and dearest. If you'd like to hear the world premiere of my new piece, Cusp, and also Elgar's masterpiece, The Dream of Gerontius, you can catch the Bach Choir, the Philharmonia Orchestra, conducted by David Hill, myself, the mezzo-soprano Jennifer Johnston, and the tenor Daniel Norman will all be performing on the 16th of May at the Royal Festival Hall, the South Bank in London.